Guys, I hope you're having a great day. This is Dr. Jennifer Edwards coming to you live from Tarleton State, and today we are actually going to talk about culture and gender. I love Canva. I use Canva to make this graphic, but just to state that, these are potentially, unisex clothes. So, I wear pants, I wear skirts. I know different genders that wear, either or. So I'm just telling you, it culture is very, very different. And depending on where you're from, the different countries that you visit, you might see women in pants and men in skirts. So it just all depends. Okay, I love this one because it talks about gender roles. It's an older BuzzFeed video, but I think it's still relevant and it's still very good. Okay, so let's talk about sex. So sex is most used to refer to biological features based on chromosomal evidence that distinguishes males from females. So that's the historic definition of sex. And so now it's basically the textbook definition of what makes a male male and what makes a female female. Textbook definition. Standard historic textbook definition. But gender is a little bit different. Gender is mostly used to refer to the learned behaviors and attitudes associated with the terms feminine and masculine. And gender then can be socially constructed. So that means that you can be born male and then you can have a potential female gender depending on the learned behaviors and the attitudes that you express. All right, let's move on. Also before the 17th century, there was not a real concept of gender, and then the female body was basically a variation of the male body. So, females were perceived as being similar to males, but they just had a little bit some different features. So gender is now learned through language, the language that we use, the culture that we're part of, the toys that we play with, and also the occupations that we are encouraged to hold, and it differs per country, and also the behaviors that are rewarded. Okay, moving on. So in the United States, historically, feminine traits are traits to be affectionate, to be compassionate toward others, nurturance, to be nurturing, and also to exhibit emotions. Masculine traits historically in the U.S. have been strength, assertiveness when it comes to communicating with others, competitiveness in gaming and things of that nature, and also in business, and also ambition. Okay, moving on. This is examining, sorry, goodness gracious, this is examining gender from a different nation's perspective. So this one talks about Hawaii, Japan's women population, or the women problem is hard to fix. So basically, they have more women than men in some workplaces. So they want to address that. And then also to empower women to serve in leadership positions. And then also, this one is actually from the BBC, one of my favorite networks, but it talks about how Sweden is the most father friendly country in the world. It offers support for fathers who stay at home. So it's very interesting depending on the country. Also, there's this thing called the Gender Development Index, and it's called GDI. And that basically means that it measures gender gaps between men and women in different countries through three basic dimensions. So that basically means the health, the knowledge, and the living standards are used to compare the experience between men and women. And the top GDI scoring countries are here. So we are going to check it out. And on this Gender Development Index, let me see if I can, yeah, there we go. So these are the countries that have a high human development. So that means that the development between males and females, then everyone is equal when it comes to, remember these again, when it comes to health, when it comes to knowledge, and also living standards. And then also, see if we can bring that page up again. Hopefully we can. Okay, let's see. There we are. So this is, again, the Gender Development Index. And let me pull the other window up so you guys can see that as well. Okay, there we are. Okay, so if we look at the human development in terms of health and standard of living, these countries score the highest. And the US is number 13. And then also, if we scroll all the way down, we have high human development. And those are the countries there. And then always like to look at the ones at the very bottom. So we have the Solomon Islands, Papua New Guinea, Tanzania, and also the United Republic of, and then also the Syrian Arab Republic and Zimbabwe, and Nigeria, Rwanda, Lesotho, So it gets very interesting regarding the disparities between males and females in those countries. Okay, let's move on. We also have the Gender Equality Index, which is this one. And the gender, goodness, it's not this one. Okay, sorry guys. The GII measures gender gaps between men and women. And let me show you what this one actually looks like as well. Okay, so the Gender Equality Index, and if we look at the definition, it basically focuses on girls and women and how they have made strides, but when it comes to gender equity. So it looks at gender equity in terms of economic status, when it comes to the reproductive health, when it comes to the maternal mortality ratio. That basically means death during childbirth, and also adolescent birth rates. And it's also looking at perceptions of empowerment. So if we look at the gender, or the GII, the Gender Inequality Index, as we can see, we see the same countries again: Norway, Switzerland, Australia, Ireland, and Germany. And the US is number 13 again. And then let's go all the way down. Close your eyes. Let's go all the way down. And the countries that are scoring low on human development when it comes to gender inequality are the same countries. So it's very, very interesting. And you guys, just for my sanity, I will update that so you guys have. I know I have the link in there, but I will put that on here as well. So we have reproductive health, and there we go. Okay, so I will add that to this one. So, oops, sorry guys. Here we go. So that you guys can see this one as well. So it's health, knowledge, and living. And then gender inequities is focused on, there we are. Okay, so reproductive health and birth rates. And we have the top scoring countries. Also, it talks about the gender gap, which gets interesting as well. So this is from the World Economic Forum. It measures how different countries, okay, basically it talks about gender equality within a country and how the US, and remember, we just looked at the GII, but the World Economic Forum is a little bit different because it measures, here we are, because we previously we looked at the United Nations Human Development Reports, and now we're looking at the World Economic Forum, which measures economic wealth from different countries. And so it all depends. But watch this video whenever you have a chance, and you can discover some additional gender gap facts that exist, because you guys will see them again. And then last but not least, you've seen these countries before with the exception of Rwanda, but this is from the World Economic Forum as well, but it's perceived as countries that play fair when it comes to gender inequities, so or the global gender gap. So as you can see, this chapter is very straightforward. I've edited a lot of videos so that you guys can experience what it is like from different perspectives, from the World Economic Forum and also from the United Nations. But yeah, if you have any questions, just please let me know. I am Dr. Jennifer Edwards. I'm at Tarleton State University, located in Texas. And you guys can like and subscribe and share this video out with other people who might be interested. And then you can reach out to me at DRJT Edwards on Twitter, as well as you can find me on goodness on YouTube as well. I hope you guys are having a great day, and I will see you soon.